What? Where am I? Huh. Really? Hello, and welcome back to episode 9 on the Amelix SMP. Today, instead of doing something that I'm good at, like redstone, building farms, or making women run away in terror, we're going to be doing some decorating. Now, I'm an objectively bad builder. I just don't have the eye for it, and no matter how I picture things in my head, they just don't seem to translate well into Minecraft. With that being said, I feel pretty confident that we can manage something simple. Even on a tech SMP like Amelix, it's important to have areas look nice if you want to show the world off. We're lacking decorations in general on the SMP, but one area where this is especially glaring is world spawn. Looking around, we can see that this area is an absolute mess, and worse, when you first spawn into the world, you're just in this random spot here, with no real indication of where you are or where you need to go. We're going to remedy this today by making a nice little build around world spawn, and having a path lead to the portal that takes us to the nether hub. Now, unfortunately, we don't have a nice clearing here, so we're going to first need to clean up this area and remove anything that's going to be in the way of our build. Nothing here at spawn is vital, but we're still going to try and avoid removing anything that isn't just terrain or junk like the bamboo here. Amelix is a tech server at the end of the day, but I find modern styling rarely blends nicely into the terrain, and you often end up with a build looking like someone dropped a Walmart in the middle of the rainforest. Don't get me wrong, modern styling works great on our industrial builds, farms, storage, etc., and you even get a nice Star Wars-esque aesthetic in the end. Our main storage is a great example of this. Modern styling certainly has its place, but for our purposes today, I don't think purely modern is the way to go. So to bridge this gap between the natural world and the unnatural behavior of your average Amelix member, I want to attempt a style that blends Greco-Roman and cyberpunk aesthetics together. This will be particularly difficult because I couldn't find any real examples of this style, and it'll all need to come from my mind, which has shriveled away due to 18 hours a day of mindlessly scrolling TikTok. Regardless, I persisted and have a design that I'm fairly pleased with. Y'all should let me know down in the comments if you like it, and if y'all think it's cool, then maybe we can try this style out at some other locations around the SMP. So like I said, I'm not a good builder. In fact, I'm probably about as bad as anyone can be while honestly trying their best. But I do think that I've gotten some sort of point across here, even if I haven't gotten quite as cyber as I was initially hoping for. Starting in the center of the rotunda, I've marked the world spawn with an amethyst block. When you spawn in, you're actually going to spawn in a 5-block radius around the center here, but I've made our area large enough that you'll still feel somewhat centered. The path blocks, textured via planks and stripped logs, is a common trick, and I've used it here to try and convey some sense of age. The quartz pillars and blocks are meant to indicate a structure that has been slowly replaced as it decays. As more and more quartz chips, cracks, and fails, it is replaced by the harsh concrete. As we go higher, the colors darken. I've seen this used to help increase the feeling of height and distance, but perhaps we can also call it a metaphor. We reach for the stars and move away from nature, but in doing so find ourselves left in darkness. Or maybe it's because gray concrete is the most readily available color on the SMP. Who's to say, really? Looking down our path, you'll see that I've kept purple as an accent color on the ground, and orange up high. This is a nod to the Amelix logo and color scheme. Instead of the winding path that I initially imagined, I decided that a direct road made more contextual sense. It's well lit, and it leads us directly to the final destination of this project, which is our portal into the nether hub. Now, I was shocked to find out that our portal at spawn isn't even properly aligned with the nether hub portal. This path originally was going to lead to the existing portal, which is somewhere over this way, but I figured if I'm going to build this, I might as well have it actually go to the right spot. Around the portal, I've gone with a simple arch design to help mesh it into our theming, and since the portal is so incredibly purple, I felt confident in using more of the orange to really drive home that connection to the Amelix logo. Looking at the build as a whole, I've also interspersed a bit of weathering, like vines and tall grass, as if nature is reaching out to take back the land we've tamed. Some might say that this is because while the Lord may claim our souls, our flesh and blood and the fruits of our labor will all return to the earth. This would of course be a perfectly reasonable analysis of classical literature, but alas, in this genre, the true allegory is that of the technical player desperately trying to create, while the Minecraft developers do everything they can to fight against them. All in all, guys, I know this build isn't particularly fancy or interesting, but it does clean up the spawn a little bit and make it just a tad bit more presentable. I've monologued for long enough at this point, I'm sure, so please remember to like and subscribe, leave a comment if you think we should keep trying this style, maybe getting a little bit more futuristic than just some concrete, and I'll catch you later. Bye!